We're here at the school where 28 of the kids sponsored by Africa Oasis Foundation are currently attending, and they're going to come in the room soon. We're going to get to meet them. So I left the working world to start my own business with my brother. We called it Abenity. We did corporate perks for big companies. And the one thing I had learned from just business in a few years straight out of college was that I needed my work to be meaningful. All I knew is that for every input into the business, I wanted an output to go to ministry. And that's when Krista introduced me to World Vision.
And I just went on and on about World Vision and how great they were, and thought this would be a great thing for them to give to.
But pretty quickly, the writing the check at the end of the year just wasn't present enough in our day, and so we started sponsoring a child with every customer that came into the business, and so we started sponsoring kids in Senegal, so that we had a story to tell. We could introduce the kids. They were all in one spot. Part of the neat outcome from that, besides what it did for our employees, was it started to build a mission-focused story around our brand, and that brought in customers who also cared about what we're doing. And
to get these letters that have the pictures of the kids and a little update of how they're doing in school, and then even to the point of we've seen different projects, different villages have been able to graduate from the program. So to be able to be with them for around 18 years and the longevity of the program has been really amazing.
Nice. Off the ceiling.
By 2014, we were helping some of our friends with an adoption campaign, and we learned about an opportunity to understand adoption more and even potentially host a child from another country.
We talked about adopting one day, but didn't know when. So when everyone kind of told us we shouldn't do it, that lit my fire. Like, what are you talking about? We shouldn't do it. That's the problem is people don't do things. If God puts it on your heart, like you need to do it. So a year later when we met Valia, it was just God lining those pieces up. And so then we started the process, and she was home, thankfully under 9 months.
Just a powerful reminder for me how far God has pulled me out of. But then it's like a really neat thing to be able to encourage them in their walk, in their journey, wherever they're at. And then also I think it's really neat to be able to look at all these other people's lives and see that we should be thankful for whatever we have and be that bright light to other people.
Our big aha moment as a family is like when we get away together as a family and we do things together, that's where we have the most brilliant conversations together. It's when the girls ask great questions. It's when we get to kind of plant seeds that will grow. We can bring topics up or things just flow out naturally. I was like, I want to give that experience to every adoptive family that I can.
So Brian came up with this community center idea. He's a big idea guy. And one morning I woke up literally and my heart was pounding, and I woke him up, I was like, Brian, what if we just buy a house? And he and I, after going on passionately for a few minutes, he goes, well, actually, I have a PowerPoint that I made for you. I was just waiting for the right time with the exact same idea.
So my vision for the family was, let's create a space where families can get away from their routine, do things together, and they can just unlock memories, unlock opportunities to talk and have tough conversations. And this 1 acre property, which is a former horse ranch, was available, and we opened it up for families and converted the horse ranch to mini golf, and we've done a lot of fun things and have had families in here almost every weekend.
There's families that have adopted kids. There's families who foster kids who don't ever get to go on vacations. Some of these families told us they lived apart because they had adopted or fostered a child that was so difficult they couldn't have them in the house. Or, can't stay in a hotel room because with all the things that we bring with our kids, or, we're gonna be too loud with all of our kids that we've adopted or fostering or whatever, that this ministry house alleviated a lot of those problems. I just love seeing that God keeps giving us different opportunities and ways to serve.
The fulfillment of our social mission in the beginning was writing a check. And that became a hollow victory pretty quickly. Like, you mail it off, you're like, oh yeah, that was great, we gave something, and then it was gone, and we didn't meet anybody. I was impressed at one point that like the currency of heaven is really relationships. And when you're writing that check and you're stroking the check, you're not building relationships for yourself. You're not allowing what God's using in your life to build a connection and a bond with somebody else that's real and that earns you the right to tell them about Jesus.
We say all the time that life is like a tapestry, and sometimes you get to see on the back all the pieces. You usually do see all the parts kind of that are just messy, and you're like, what does this make? How does this connect? But with Valia and adopting her, we've really got to flip it over sometimes and see, wow, look at how beautiful this is. Look at how these different pieces have connected. And then bringing our girls into the sponsorship journey, then having our 3 girls able to write letters to the kids, see pictures of the kids in the frames that we have. We have our own personal kids that we sponsor.
God wants our hearts engaged. And I mean, when you have these experiences, when you hear the Lord's voice inside and you respond to it and you answer and you do that thing, and then you're filled up so much and your life is changed in beautiful ways and you're given new capacities to continue to do more. I mean, you get hooked on that and you're like, okay, well, what can we do next?
Are you girls still thinking about going to Rwanda?
Yes, I think I'm gonna go.
You think so? Yeah, maybe?
To go see these kids, the kids that we've been sponsoring.